Welcome to Casual Corner. My name is Makai Utterbridge, and we're here today with Keyshawn Wilson to discuss succession planning and answer your most frequently asked questions. So, Keyshawn, how are you today?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm good. So, I would like to tap into the true cost of life insurance. Are you able to just give me a little bit of information of the true cost of it?
Yes, definitely. Well, it's not a secret that most people associate life insurance with extortionate premiums and extortionate amounts of value. But when we focus on the things that we need, it doesn't actually cost that much. So, to give you an example, a healthy 35-year-old could be just married, just having kids, just needing to protect their income. And they decided to get, let's say, a policy for $500,000 to have a product that's going to protect your $500,000 goal by the time you hit retirement. Is going to cost you around, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, $50 a month. $50 a month, 100, $50 a month is what, $600 for the year. If you times the $600 by, let's say, 20 years or 30 years, we're talking around, less than $15,000 to protect a $500,000 goal that you have. So would you sacrifice $15,000 to protect a $500,000 at the end of the day? Would you do that now? Does it make sense? Another example when it comes to the true cost would be the mortgage protection. If a mortgage is going to cost you $1 million over 30 years, and the mortgage lender says to you, hey, look, for an extra $20,000 on the price of the house, we will pay the house off if you pass while you're purchasing it. I think it's the deal of a lifetime. It's not expensive at all. It's just you have to see and believe in the concept, to make it happen for yourself.
So, a lot of people believe that it costs an arm and a leg to keep these life insurance policies active. What does the coverage look like, and how long do you think they would have it open for that amount of?
Well, everyone's different. It's never going to be a one size fits all for life insurance. But if we look at family dynamic as example, your kids are newborn, you have a 1 year old, a 2 year old. Their college or school need is only going to exist for the next 20, 25 years. After that, they're through school. That's no longer a need at that point. So at the very least, for the next 20, 25 years, you want to include that in the cost. I think more primarily people forget is their income potential, their ability to earn money. Without your salary existing in this space, you cannot achieve any of the goals that you set out for yourself. So it's really about understanding what it is your needs are. Like I say, college is a temporary need. Kids are only going to be at that age for a temporary time. Mortgage is also a temporary need. You only pay off a house for a specific amount of time. So it really depends on the person. Not everybody's mortgage is $1 million. So it could be, like I said, the $500,000. Depending on your goals for kids, what type of education you want them to have, it could be, a $250,000 benefit for the next 20 years to protect specifically what it is you have going on, as opposed to these extortionate amounts of cover for no reason at all.
I'm glad you say that because some people feel that they may have too little coverage, so they may feel like they don't have enough coverage, and some people may feel like they may have too much coverage. So, what would you think would be like where do you think somebody would be if they have kids, like you mentioned, if they have a mortgage, if they have existing debt and a family that depends on them? What do you think around about how much coverage they would need?
Okay, so Life Insurance Market Research Association is known as LIMRA. They've decided that to be comprehensively covered, you need at the very least 7 years worth of your annual salary to be comprehensively covered. The reason income is primary is because without income, there is no mortgage, there is no school, there is no nothing that you're trying to achieve. So income has to be primary. If someone makes, let's say, $70,000 a year, and we times that by 10, likely $700,000 should be enough coverage to deal with, everything that you're trying to achieve in life. So that would include school, mortgage, and it should align because your income is the primary factor in all of these things actually taken place at some point. So that's how the LIMRA, Life Insurance Market Research Association, says that you should calculate it. 7 to 10 years of your annual salary in a protection plan.
You know, I have had clients who have came in, husband and wife. You know, one of which husband may be the breadwinner. The wife may be the stay-at-home maker, you know, where they stay home, take care of the kids. One of my clients felt that they should have an equal amount of life insurance. I disagreed because I felt that, you know, if your husband is the breadwinner, then he needs to get more insurance than you. And with that being said, you know, one client may have gone with, let's say, like you said, 7 to 10 their annual income. Let's say they went with 5 mil, and the wife, stay-at-home mom, went with, let's say, 500,000. I shaped that because I felt that if he was to pass on, she would have to take care of the financial obligations with holding up the family without a job. So 5 million, do you think would cover a family for maybe 7 to 10 years so that they can kind of jump back on their feet? She can go out and find a job, maybe start a business, and things of that nature if her husband, who is the breadwinner, had passed on.
I would say definitely, you know, for someone like myself, 5 million is more than enough. And I want to tie that to income. So it's a good point that you make, because one, as a breadwinner, is the primary earner. His income is going to reflect his responsibility for his family. So maybe 5 million based on his income is what he's exactly supposed to have. You know, if his wife is a stay-at-home mom, is more focused on the kids and doesn't have income, then maybe there's goals built into that so that if the rush were to happen to her, all of her duties and tasks that she was taking care of can be achieved, whether that's through hiring a nanny or hiring someone else to deal with everything that she was doing at the time. So the idea of income being associated is you don't want to have people who are overinsured to the point where they're worth more dead than they are alive.
Yes.
You know, it has to be linked to what it is they're capable of, because we're protecting what people are capable of doing in their lifetime.
Yes, I can agree. All right, that wraps up our episode today of succession planning. If you have any questions or would love to learn a little bit more about what we talked about today, please feel free to contact us at Freedom.